Oh, I love the panel.
Check, check. Ooh, it works. Hello, Spooky Empire. How are we feeling, everybody? Thank you. Are we having a good Friday so far? It is Friday, right? I know. Cool. Okay, so before we do get this panel underway, what's up, Steve? We do have a microphone located right in front of the room for whatever questions you guys might have. So start thinking about your questions now. But I say, let's bring out our guest. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
All right, Spooky. It is my absolute privilege to bring to the stage at this time the one and only Ray Wise, everybody.
Thunder and lightning, there wouldn't be anybody here. The rain, it was something.
I feel like it sets the mood, right? Gets things nice and spooky. How you doing, Ray? How's it going?
I'm doing great. Well, these are nice, comfortable chairs.
Only the best. Only the best. Well, it's an honor to have you here. So I kind of wanted to start. Obviously, you've played such a variety of characters, from heartfelt to haunting, right? And sometimes even in the same scene. But we're here at Spooky Empire this weekend, and I want to ask about the horror genre. And I want to know, what is your favorite thing about being part of this horror genre?
Ooh, wow. Well, let's see. I've done a few horror movies in my time, and on television and in the movies. I think what I like most about the horror genre is I like to be frightened. I like to be scared. I like to sit in my seat and feel chills, you know, and it's safe chills, you know. You're not endangered in any way. You're watching somebody else getting really endangered, and that's what I dig the most. I love horror. I did a movie called Dead End. I don't know if any of you saw that. One of my favorites. We shot all night in Los Angeles, in a canyon in Los Angeles, and on this road that never ended, and we drove back and forth with the great Lynn Shay. You know, she's very big in the horror genre as an actress, and of course, I did Jeepers Creepers 2. Yep. And I shot the creeper with my Post-Puncher 5 harpoon gun. I don't believe he did recover from it, but in the third Jeepers Creepers, which was not to my liking, but there it was. No, I love horror, and some, a lot of I've done a lot of psychological horror too, you know, which is not the gory, bloody kind, but the kind that scares you nonetheless, because it could be your next door neighbor or your brother or your sister, and that kind of real horror is the worst horror, and when I did Twin Peaks, it was that kind of horror for me.
Yes.
Not the kind that I loved. I did not want to be the killer of my own daughter. That whole idea was anathema to me. The ABC television network was pressuring David Lynch and Mark Frost to find a killer to Laura Palmer, and I'm not spoiling it for anybody. You've seen the series, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh. And Fire Walk with Me, of course. Yeah.
Right.
The original cut of Fire Walk with Me was 5 hours long, and again, the French producers wanted to cut down to about 2 hours, and so they had their way, and it was what they released was what you saw, but there was so much more that could have been shown. Yeah, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, okay, so
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm rambling on, and
No.
of course I'm known for that.
we're all enticed. No, this is great. This is amazing. Well, speaking of Twin Peaks, obviously Leland is like such a complex and like almost tragic character with so many emotional layers. What was it like getting into that mindset and having to portray that character? I mean,
Leland, yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, getting into that mindset, that was like, whatever it took, you know. Sometimes I'd have to go off into a corner and stare into the corner and get myself in the right frame of mind to do the next scene. And it's not so easy to do a scene, you know, where you kill someone, especially when it's someone that you love and someone that you like as an actor or an actress. And I know when I killed Maddie, Laura's cousin, in Twin Peaks, that was one hell of a day. She was poor Cheryl Lee, who played Maddie and Laura. She was killed by 3 different people that day. Me, Leland Palmer, Ben Horn, Richard Beamer, and Bob. So she was killed by 3 different people, and so the crew wouldn't know who the real killer was.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, they play little games like that, you know, that they don't want anybody to know you know, what's really going on, and so that poor girl, she died 3 times. And yeah, at the end of the 14-hour day, she was ready for the paramedics. I'll tell you that. And I didn't feel so good either, as I recall.
Is there any way that you have to like decompress after a scene? Obviously, you're an exceptional actor, but is there a way to shed from a character after a day of work?
Yeah, you get together with a couple of buddies and you drink.
Amen.
Am I right, Mike? Yeah, there's my bud. Yeah, and then it all smooths out after a while.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, I'm being facetious, but please don't think me an alcoholic because I'm not. But it does take quite a bit to come down from something like that. And I remember in Fire Walk with Me when I killed Laura and aboard that train car, that it took a lot out of me. I know that, and it was something that I wasn't looking forward to, you know. I remember when, you know, David, when he explained to me that I was the killer of Laura Palmer, I didn't want it to be me. I wanted it to be anybody in town, you know. I thought Sheriff Truman would have been a good killer. Or Ben Horn, you know, Richard Beamer. I thought, you know, anybody but me. No, it had to be me. Network was pushing him to find a killer. He never wanted to find the killer. He wanted to keep it going on and on forever. And so did I. I didn't want to leave town. I didn't want to go to prison. I didn't want to die. But I had to. They called me in the day before we shot the reveal scene. And I came into this dark room, and the only light in the room was a lava lamp in the corner. No other furniture. And David Lynch and Mark Frost and Cheryl Lee, and Richard Beamer, Ben Horn, they were all sitting on the floor in one corner of the room, you know, cross-legged. And I had to walk over and sit down cross-legged. Okay. I sat down on the floor, And David Lynch leaned over, touched me on the knee, and he said, "Ray, it's you. It's always been you." And I thought, oh shit. It can't be me. It can't be me. Please. And then he went on to explain that I would have this great scene and I would die in the arms of Kyle MacLachlan, Agent Cooper, and he would be reciting the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Yes. And I would look down a longer tunnel, and at the end of it would be a bright light, and at the end of that bright light would be my daughter Laura, holding out her arms to me, forgiving me. Forgiving me for killing her. Well, was it hard for me to cry in that scene? No. No. It killed me. It killed me, and I think that show that was it was directed by Tim Hunter, very fine movie director. That particular show and those scenes left a remarkable impression on me, and I think, for my money, some of the best stuff that was done on that on Twin Peaks, and I don't mean to blow my own horn, but yeah, I'm blowing my own horn. It was a wonderful thing.
Well, we thank you for your performance, of course.
I know, I'm sorry. I go on and on, and I get too talkative sometimes.
No, this is what we're here for. I wanted to mention you also played the Devil in Reaper as well.
Oh, the Devil in Reaper, yeah.
So, who do you think is more evil, the Devil or Leland?
Oh, God. I never had that question before.
Oh, my bad.
Wow, Leland. It can't get any more evil than what he did to his daughter. Devil can't compete.
How did you find the balance between charming and sinister on Reaper?
Between
Charming and sinister on the show Reaper, playing
that
the
balance?
Devil. Yeah.
Oh, I always looked at the Devil as a kind of a cross between a good talk show host and a used car salesman. The kind of guy that makes you feel good about yourself. I like you, and you're going to go a long way. Yeah, he makes you feel good. He's a confidence man. And that gives you confidence, the definition gives you confidence in yourself and makes you do what he wants you to do. And that was my Devil. And I had done the research. I had researched all the devils in movie and television history, from Walter Houston, who played the Devil in Daniel Webster, all the way up to Al Pacino in what movie was that?
Devil's Advocate.
Yeah. Over the top Devil. A little bit too much Devil. Mine was much, laid back, a little bit more subtle Devil. But we all loved God, all the devils, and he was number one angel for the Lord until they had their separation. And well, anyway, that's yeah.
obviously you've worked with some really incredible directors as well. So I want to know, what do you think makes for a great collaboration between a director and an actor?
Oh, good question. Yeah, I've worked with some good ones. John Schlesinger, I did Honky Tonk Freeway, and let's see, John Frankenheimer. I did one called Prophecy with John Frankenheimer. Of course, I did. Now you're making me think. This is difficult. I did a film with which?
As you say, Rising Sun with Sean Connery.
Oh, Rising Sun with Sean Connery. Yeah.
Wes Craven.
Yeah, and that was with the guy who did the.
Yeah, The Thing. The guy who did The Thing.
Yeah, the guy.
No, not the guy who did The Thing.
No,
John.
not The Thing. That Thing.
Anyway, I work with a lot of directors.
Clearly.
I apologize because let's see, I've done about 120 movies and over 250 or 300 different projects, productions, and a lot of them get confused in my mind now. But I work with some great directors, and even George Clooney, you know, Good Night and Good Luck, I did, and with a bunch of fine actors. And so yeah, I've been all around the horn 3 or 4 times. 58 years now of acting in movies and on television. And I can still walk. I can still act like a person. And I enjoy being with all of you, that's for sure. It's elixir for me to be able to sit in front of you and talk to you and answer some of your questions.
Well, thank you. How about, what do you think? Should we answer some of their questions?
I'd love that.
Cool.
Yes, please.
So like I mentioned,
anything you want to ask me, please.
I mentioned we do have a microphone, so come on down. Don't be shy. He wants to answer all your questions. We got our first willing victim. All right. Hey, what's your name?
Michael, thank you so much for coming.
Hi, Michael.
And talking today about your work. I think we've all enjoyed it over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, your relationship with David Lynch, I think you had said before, is very collaborative. What was your relationship with him like, and how did he work with actors and the crew to create such amazing
Oh, God,
stories?
you know, yeah.
Or any anecdotes about him?
Yeah,
if you
David
share.
was not only my director, but my close friend. And when I lost him a little, I'm not the only one who lost him, the world lost him a little while ago. It was numbing, to say the least, for a few days. And I just couldn't imagine a world without David Lynch, you know, and he had such a great impact on my life. And I remember when I got the call to come in to meet him for Twin Peaks, and I went in that day, and we had about a 15 or 20 minute meeting, and we didn't really talk about Twin Peaks or the script. We talked about our first cars.
What was your first car?
His was a Volkswagen Beetle. Mine was a 1960 Alfa Romeo convertible. Yeah, that I paid $1,100 for back in 1965. I'd saved up all of my money, and I bought that car, and it was a real chick magnet. A red convertible, black top, and I drove it proudly around, and it lasted for about a little over a year until it all fell apart, and I couldn't afford fixing it again. All the parts. An Italian car with all English parts. I don't get that at all. So that's another story altogether. And Yeah, and we talked about our first cars, and then a couple of actors that we had in common that we knew, and they were our friends, and that was the extent of it. And then a couple of days later, I got a call, and the call said, David wants you to be Leland Palmer. I said, what, Leland Palmer? Wait a minute. I thought I was up for the part of Sheriff Truman. I was all set to play the sheriff, you know, with the hat and the whole deal, the badge, and so I had to look at the script again, which was called Northwest Passage at the time, not Twin Peaks, a movie that was already made many years ago with Spencer Tracy. And anyway, I looked at the script and I saw Leland Palmer. Wait, here he finds out his daughter is dead. He drops the phone and he cries. Okay, then he goes to the morgue to identify his daughter's body, and does, and he cries. And then he's up in his daughter's bedroom when the police are searching through it for Laura Palmer's diary, and he cries. I thought, all this guy does is cry. And I thought, what? Then it dawned on me, Ray, yeah, he cries, but you have to do different levels of grief. You got to do different levels of crying. You have to do things that maybe, perhaps, has never been shown on network television before. I thought, yep, there's the challenge. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do my damnedest to do it well. And, yep, I did those things, and I threw myself on her casket, and it went up and down, and I'm crying, and and I'm doing this strange reindeer dance, and I'm crying, and all I want to do is go home. That's what Leland wants to do. He wants to go home, and he wants to find his daughter still there, and he can't. And all this time that I'm doing this, I don't know that I'm the killer. We didn't know from week to week what our characters were going to do, you know? And I think that they were flying by the seat of their pants too, writing it. And then when it finally had to be resolved, I think it was a quick resolve and expeditious, and I was the victim. I had to go. And I did.
Excellent question. Thank you so much.
Did I answer your question, by the way? I'm not sure that
You did.
Yeah.
Did
but
I?
I was curious. Do you
Okay.
think then Leland Palmer, like he had any agency when he killed his daughter, or do you think he was possessed and had no agency, like no control?
Oh boy, you know, there's the big question. Was he possessed,
Or did he? Yeah.
or was it just him?
Was it him? Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, the whole time I played the character of Leland, he was always Leland. Even when I was doing Bob. In my head, it was always Leland. And I don't quite know how to explain that to you, but I
Even
was
while
never
possessed,
Bob.
He was always Leland and never Bob.
Yep.
He was,
I was
your hair
never
white
Bob.
and-
I would
yeah,
not be
Yeah.
part of him.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey,
Did that make sense at
what's your name?
all? Yeah, okay. Yes.
Hello, pleasure to meet you. Thank you for doing this. David Lynch and Twin Peaks has meant so much to me throughout my life. One of the scenes as I rewatched it recently is that really sticks with me, and I know you've done some performances of this in the past 5 to 10 years, but you know, through the 90s and the 2000s, something that's really stuck with me is the Mersey Dotes scenes, and I was kind of wondering, like, did you ever find yourself after filming, like, singing that or dancing around in your free time with it? Because I'm sure you had to rehearse that scene or do it a lot, so I wonder if you ever, I was just kind of curious if you ever caught yourself,
Did you
know,
hear him?
Oh, I heard him. It's time, Ray.
Tell me what he said.
world wants
I'm
to-
sorry.
Oh, I can say it again. I apologize. I didn't. The
No, it's okay.
speaker's coming back.
My left ear is shot. It's
Yeah.
it's gone. And,
Yeah. So
you know, I should get one of those Joe Namath hearing aids.
no, it's me being self-conscious with my voice coming back. I'm sorry. Basically, you played so many different emotions throughout Twin Peaks, and as I rewatched it recently, one thing that's really stuck out to me is when you're doing your Mairzy Doat scenes. And I was curious. I know you've done some.
Oh, the Mairzy Doat.
Oh, yeah, I know you've done some performances over the past 5 or 10 years. But I was wondering, throughout the '90s and the 2000s, I'm sure you had to rehearse that a lot for the show. I was wondering, did you ever catch yourself like singing it to yourself or dancing around your house or something?
Like for example, right now.
Singing it right now?
Yeah, is that like a thing that crosses your
Oh, I don't believe I could do it.
I-
Oh, Mairzy Doats and Dozy Doats and little lambsy divey, a kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? Oh, Mairzy Doats and Dozy Doats and little lambsy divey, a kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? Although the words sound queer and funny to your ear, a little bit jumpy and jivey, say mares eat oats and does eat oats and little lambs eat ivy. Mares eat oats and does eat oats and little lambs eat ivy, a kid'll eat ivy too, wouldn't you? A kid'll eat ivy too, wouldn't you? They have on my Leland Palmer baseball card that I had a decent tenor baritone voice, and I like to think that I do, but I probably think I have a much better voice than I really do.
That was gorgeous.
But I like using it, and getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you. Getting to hope you like me. Hope you like me. Okay. Yeah. So they had me sing on Twin Peaks, and in the Great Northern Lounge, I sang to Ben Horn that "Getting to Know You" song from The King and I, and it was a nice little touch and something that I enjoyed doing, and one of those strange David Lynch things, you know. Let's have Ray sing a song, a Broadway song, at the Great Northern, and there it was.
That was amazing.
Great question. Thank you for asking
you.
that.
Thank you.
We have about 10 minutes left, so this is perfect timing. Go ahead. What's your name?
My name is Amanda. How are you? How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Yes.
Speaking of Twin Peaks, when you went from jet black hair to white, did they have to bleach your hair? Did you?
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah. I had to go to this beauty salon on Ventura Boulevard, Barron's Beauty Salon, and they did this chemical treatment on my hair that took like 5 hours and bleached it all the way down to white. A torturous process. And then I only found out about it later that I could have just gotten a wig. I did a movie called Rising Sun, you know, with Harvey Keitel and, you know, Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes, and Harvey Keitel just got this wig, put it on, and it looked fine, and it made his hair lighter, you know, and he had white hair, and there he was, and no, that's not what I did. I had the painful process, and then I had to do my roots every week and a half. The whole time I was playing Leland with the white hair, going to do my roots. And this was needless to say, a whole new experience for me to have the white hair and to do the roots. It was effective. I have to say it was effective. And then watching it grow out was really a trip. Half and half, half white and half dark hair, and that was really something. And I went to Italy that way when they showed Twin Peaks in Italy, and Berlusconi had us come over, and he's the disgraced premier of Italy, and that's another story. He had us come over for the premiere of it, and I watched Twin Peaks on the screen there, and they had this guy, this Italian actor who did Leland's voice. He had a voice like Marcello Mastroianni. It came out of his socks. I said, my God, with that guy's voice and my talent, I could be a big, big star. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Destiny. Hi.
I remember your boy. There he is. How you doing, kiddo? All right.
Oh well, it's for me and my son. So we want to ask you a question. What did you have full experience about during Jeepers Creepers 2?
What was his experience like what was your experience like during Jeepers Creepers 2?
Oh, Jeepers Creepers 2. Oh, wow, that was a great experience. I love that whole process, and playing a farmer, number one, and then losing my boy to the creeper, and then being obsessed. It was I likened it to Captain Ahab in the Moby Dick. I was after the great white whale, and that great white whale was the creeper. So naturally, I made a harpoon gun, and out of my post-puncher 5, and yeah, I enjoyed that whole experience of making that film. It was a treat, and the creeper was the most meticulous makeup I've ever seen made for a monster. I was just a few feet away from him, and he scared the hell out of me with the dripping teeth and his eyes, and yeah, it was. I enjoyed the whole experience. It was a real treat. Yeah. And a good movie, I think. Really good movie.
Yes, it is. It's one of my favorite scenes when I recognized you in the beginning of Jeepers Creepers 2, and I started crying, and you tried to take revenge to get the creature back. Well, after you did to your son.
My translator here will.
Yeah, I got you. One of her favorite scenes was that she saw you in was at the beginning of the movie. You said right after.
Yes.
Yeah, she liked your scene in the beginning of the movie.
Oh
She
yeah.
first recognized that it was you.
Yes. Yeah, they had. It was right outside of Los Angeles at a place called the Tejon Ranch, and they had all these farm fields with these that they planted all these corn stalks in that were already dried up. They didn't have any corn in them, but they planted acres and acres of these corn stalks so that we could run through them, and so the creeper could be a scarecrow, and the production designer really went crazy on that film, and it was fun running through the corn stalks and after the creeper.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, because when it's further through during the movie, I like when you came back to help to save the people, taking advantage of the creeper, and when you try to shoot it down.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your question.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome.
Oh yes. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
we are. Did you have a question as well? No? Okay, just hanging out. Cool. So we are actually at time. So unless we have one more final question.
Oh, we're out of time?
I know, but we have
come
time
on.
for maybe one more final question, if anyone. Okay, we got a couple.
Yeah.
Let's try to get all three. Go ahead. You first, then you, and then yeah. Go. If you don't mind coming to the mic, just so we can hear you.
We got two.
Yeah, we got three, I think.
Okay. Two more, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, perfect.
I guess.
Hi, it's nice to.
I could stay here all night. You know,
I wish you would.
it's not a thing for me. I got nothing else to do. You know? Okay.
I wanted to recognize one of your more recent roles is on Psych when they did the dual speed.
Oh, on Psych, yes.
Yeah, and you played the priest, and I was just wondering how
I played
was
a
that?
priest. How about
Yeah,
that,
that was
huh?
great. But that had
After
the way
playing
here.
the devil, I was a priest.
Yeah.
You've
And
really
I
done
did
it
an
all.
exorcism on Psych, as I remember.
You did it.
That was very reminiscent of The Exorcist. Yeah, it was, and we recreated that famous shot when the exorcist first comes to the house, you know, and it's backlit. And
Yes.
well, anyway,
Yes. It's
Um,
fantastic.
yeah, I loved doing Psych. Great show, and playing a priest. And also, and next month I'm making a movie called The Land of Wolves and playing a Catholic priest again with an actor by the name of Keith David. A black actor, wonderful actor, and Marielle Hemingway, and yours truly. And it's a true story. It's a prison story about a drug dealer who was sent to prison and had some rough times while he was there, and came around to being a good person by talking with a Catholic priest. And it's a true story, and I think a good script. So I'm very optimistic about it, about doing it and its outcome. So
Awesome,
next
thank
month in July.
Well, we'll be watching.
So as you can see, I'm still working. I'm still alive, and I'm going to drop probably in front of a camera.
Many years from now.
Hopefully, yes. Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Tony.
Last one.
From South Dakota.
Okay.
You did a movie with Barry Bostwick way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be any sequel, you know, Reagan, American Badass, or something like that.
With Barry Bostwick, yeah, that FDR movie, right?
Yeah.
I played
watch
General
that
Douglas
once a year.
MacArthur.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy movie. Yeah, Barry was, you know, the guy from, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah. Yeah, we're good buds, and, you know, it's always a pleasure when I get to work with people that I know and that are my friends, and Barry's one of them, and I have a whole bunch of them. I can't, they're too numerous to list, but
Yeah.
I have a lot of buddies that, you know, that I enjoy working with, and
Just looked like you guys had fun making it, so.
yeah, thank you.
All right.
Oh,
I think we got one more. Is that okay? If we do
This
one
is a-
more?
What a great shirt. Is that Andy Warhol?
Walton Goggins.
Yeah, it's Walton Goggins.
Who?
Walton
Righteous
Goggins.
Gemstones?
That's Walton Goggins?
He has a nose there, so he's hard to recognize. Maybe I don't know.
Right, big
Yeah,
fan.
he's the big flavor of the month, isn't he?
Oh, he's great right now. Yeah, he's
He got White Lotus and all
Righteous
those
Gemstones,
commercials
yeah.
for
Justified.
Walmart.
He's all over the place.
Personally, I think he's better in the Walmart commercials than he is in the White Lotus. No, he's a fine actor.
Ray, I was just wondering.
Go ahead.
I'm a big Swamp Thing fan, so I was wondering how your experience was with Wes Craven, and have you ever had a role that you turned down that you wish you had taken?
Oh. No, not a whole lot of roles that I've turned down. But Wes Craven, yeah, you know, he picked me out of nowhere to do Swamp Thing, and then we flew to Charleston, you know, South Carolina together, and he liked the stewardess who was on the flight, and he ended up marrying her not too long after that.
You made
That's a little
something
thing
about
that-
82. Did he have any mention, or did he mention anything about
ideas for Nightmare on Elm Street that was coming up?
Yeah, I was. It was between me and Robert Englund to play Freddy
really?
Krueger.
I did not know. So you auditioned for it, or did he just say, "Hey, are you interested?" And
Yeah, yeah, and we both did. We both tested for it. Yeah.
oh wow, that's amazing. I did not know
And
that.
he looked more like Freddy Krueger than I did. I can't help that.
Big fan. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. That is a true thing, by the way. I've missed a couple of things like that, and you know, every actor who works in the business has that experience of just missing the big one. And Robert is fine. He's a fine actor, and he did a great job with Freddy Krueger. But you know, he looks more like Freddy Krueger than I do, and that was my big thing. And so, Freddy was out the door for me. But these things happen, you know, and you just go on. It used to be if I got turned down for a role that I really wanted, it would bother me for maybe a couple of weeks, you know. But now it only bothers me for maybe a day, tops day and a half, and then I'm fine again. I did this series called Savannah back in the middle 90s, and it was canceled after 2 seasons, after 34 episodes, and I was looking forward to the 3rd season so much, and for Aaron Spelling, and it got canceled, and the second that it was canceled, $1 million went out of my pocket. Yeah, I felt bad about that for a couple of days. But, you know, you got to shake it off and say, you know, go on to the next thing. It's the next thing, the next great thing is just right around the corner. That's a lesson in life right there. Don't ever give up. It's coming.
So true. And like you said, you still got it going on. You're still doing the thing.
Oh,
So thank you again for all the roles that you've gifted us. One more time.
Thanks for turning out. Great to see all of you. Thank you very much.